Pretty sure it was a Thursday afternoon. Just finished work, loaded up my bike, and we were heading out to go riding with some friends. Had all my gear on and everything like that. We went off riding side by side with some mates and a section of bumps, and just lost a bit of control and went over the handlebars off my bike, landing straight on top of my head. I heard a squish in my back, like a splatter, and I went to sit up and I couldn't sit up, and I was like, oh, that's weird, and tried that a couple of times, and then I got my hands and went down to my legs. It's like, oh, this doesn't feel right. Couldn't feel my legs. So one of the guys had jumped on the bike to get reception and took off a bit further to call the ambulance. So we got to the hospital, and from there they did all the checkups and testing and called Royal Flying Doctors. And I got booked in for surgery, and this is probably by about 6:30 at this stage. So the next part I remember of the operation was waking up in intensive care. So I was in intensive care for a week, and then after that another 2 weeks at Royal Perth. And then from there we went to Fiona Stanley. So my time at Fiona Stanley was, from the start, it was very accommodating. And Helen from Equa would come in weekly.
From the day that I met Kenny, when he was lying in the bed in Fiona Stanley, I introduced myself, said what my role was, but he literally said to me, when can I go back to work? When can I get to drive? What are the options for riding a mountain bike now? So I knew sort of at that point that this certain gentleman was going to be speeding ahead of himself. When he had his accident, he never looked back. He just looked forward to what he could do. Then we basically looked at what Kenny's needs were to see how his rehabilitation was progressing and what he was likely to need as far as equipment, ongoing rehab in the home, and needs for the future.
Working with Helen from Equa, we've got a really good relationship. A lot of stuff you can actually talk to her about it and she understands. So in the type of work that I do, it's really important, my equipment, and to be able to achieve what I need to achieve for the jobs that I'm doing.
So one of the things that the Insurance Commission funded for Kenny is a standing wheelchair. He uses this standing wheelchair at work, which means he can stand at his desk. And he doesn't need any physio for muscle spasms, and his physical health has improved hugely.
I have a track machine which attaches to my normal manual wheelchair, and it's electric with a joystick, so that allows me just to be able to drive around the site and also being able to have tools or things on my lap to be able to get around and move and do certain jobs. So from the start with my workshop, we set it all up in a way that I could get around. So when we're building tables, setting up jigs, the saws, we had everything at the right height, so it allowed me to get my legs under. So pretty much everything's on wheels that I can push and move around on my own.
One of the things is being able to provide the services they need, but also seeing that it actually is working.
I don't know where I'd be right now if I didn't have Equa looking after me and Helen herself. So very lucky person to have.